You have to understand proportions to build an aesthetic physique, guys. Proportions are very, very important. Proportions are, what does your physique look like? What does the silhouette of your physique look like? What muscles stand out? What muscles contrast to other muscles? Like, it's literally art, guys. When you attack it from this mindset, it's really a beautiful thing. Like, our goal is to sculpt a beautiful body. It's not to build the most muscle. It's not to be the leanest person. It's not to be the heaviest person. It's not to lift the most weights. It's to sculpt the most aesthetically pleasing body to look at. Specifically pleasing from a woman's, from the way a woman's brain is wired, specifically like the female gaze type of physique, which I will talk about more in the future. But a lot of you guys don't understand proportions. You have to understand proportions. Proportions are the way that you're going to build an aesthetic physique. An aesthetic physique, yes, there's a few different types of aesthetic physiques, like aesthetic physique, let's say silhouettes. But the main one that we're optimizing for is the shoulder waist ratio, which is in every physique, right? But specifically, the shoulders being the dominant muscle, because you can still have a good shoulder waist ratio without the shoulders being a dominant muscle, but you want your shoulders to be what stands out. I'm not saying it needs to stand out to the point where it dwarfs everything else, but it needs to be the most prominent muscle in the body. The shoulders have to be more dominant than the chest. I saw a reel that somebody posted a few days ago, and the dude had an amazing physique, but he had a really, really big chest. And people were in the comments saying that he needs to train shoulders, but he doesn't have lacking shoulders. He just has a prominent chest, so it makes his shoulders look smaller. The same thing with Arnold and some golden era bodybuilders. A lot of golden era bodybuilders like Arnold, um, Sergio Oliva. Who else had a super like big chest? Those are like the two that come to mind right now. They had such big chests that their shoulders looked a little bit smaller. So people like to say that they had lagging shoulders, but they didn't. They just had big chests. So the proportions made the shoulders look smaller, right? Guys who really had shoulders that were dominant in their physique, Frank Zane, he didn't have a big chest, but he had his shoulders were dominant, so it made his shoulders look bigger than they really were. Serge Nubret had big shoulders and a big chest, which I think is great. But the bigger muscle, the more dominant muscle was his shoulders, right? Even though his chest was like right up there. Serge Nubret is like the epitome of aesthetics because he had the shoulders and the chest, right? But it's the proportions, guys. Another thing that a lot of guys don't talk about enough, and I need to talk about more, and you guys are gonna give me pushback on it, but I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm gonna start talking more about my philosophy around training and fitness and health because I need to. Not only do I need to help you guys out because a lot of people don't have good looking physiques, but I'm also passionate about this shit. I don't care if you guys disagree. I don't care if people get in the comments and say I'm lying, bro. Like, this is genuinely how I feel. None of this shit I talk about is rage bait. None of this shit is like me trying to like go against the grain. This is genuinely how I train, and this is genuinely my philosophy around fitness. You do not want to have big legs. This is something I see very common. Dudes either skip legs entirely or they get their legs way too big. I'll see dudes pop up on my for you page or my explore page, and I've changed it because I'm tired of seeing bodybuilding shit, especially like modern bodybuilding shit. I don't want to see that shit, bro. But back in the day when I used to have a little bit more stuff on my page, I would see these dudes pop up with these huge ass thighs, guys, and the thighs were so big that it makes their upper body look smaller in proportion because proportions matter. If I had absolutely, and I have pretty decent thighs, but if I had super, super small thighs, my upper body would look bigger, right? But you don't want to have no legs. I'm not saying that. But you want to keep the legs moderate to where the legs don't take away from the upper body. The bigger your legs are, by proportion, the smaller your upper body will look like. There's no way around it. Not only that, a lot of us do, especially us black dudes, we don't have the biggest calves. We don't. So the bigger your thighs are, the smaller your calves look. So I'm really big on keeping my thighs in check because I don't have big calves and I don't want to take away from my chest and my shoulders and my back and my V-taper up top. So I understand that I need to keep my thighs moderate to make sure that I'm insinuating the V-taper and also not making my calves look even smaller in proportion. Proportions are extremely important, guys. Extremely important. Another thing a lot of people fuck up with proportions is triceps. A lot of dudes get their, especially the medial head of their triceps, way too big, right? The long head on the triceps, there's just a lot of overhead stuff, skull crushers, tricep overhead extensions, needs to be prioritized over the medial head, which is like the head like right here, because when the medial head is built up too much, and a lot of us have lagging biceps and not the best shoulders, right? It's going to make your shoulders look even smaller when you have this huge medial head. And it will also make your biceps look smaller in proportion, right? Another thing I'm big on is the neck and the forearm training. You want to create that silhouette. Proportions are extremely important, guys. It's not an accident. When you see guys have certain physiques, it's not by accident. And the reason why you want to make sure your proportions are on check is because you want your physique to actually look a certain way. And it's okay to admit that you want to have an aesthetically pleasing physique. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let people shame you into thinking that it's vanity and that you should just work out for you and that you should just, I mean, we are working out for us, but we want to get a good return on investment on our time spent in the gym. And the way that you do that is by building up the proper physique. But in order to build up that proper aesthetic physique, you have to understand proportions. You can't just be in the gym just doing whatever. You're gonna, and it's not even about building muscle. I'm telling you guys, bro, this shit gets so deep. One person can have like 30, 40 pounds of muscle on another person, but if that other person's proportions are on point, they will look astronomically better than the person that has 30 to 40 pounds of muscle on them. I'm 6'2" in the mid 170s, and I look better than most guys who are 6'2", 200 pounds, just because I'm lean and I have muscle in the right places. It's not about weight. It's not about muscle. It's about how do you look. Everything has to take a back seat to how do you look. Everything. Training styles, the nutrition, your nutrition methods. Are you in a calorie deficit? Are you in a calorie surplus? All these things are things that we manipulate to look a certain way. The muscles that we focus on, the muscles that we prioritize, everything has to be in accordance and in alignment to building the most aesthetically and sexy physique possible, like the most aesthetically pleasing and sexy physique that we could possibly build. And I know I'm talking like that, but I'm talking like that because I really want you guys to understand the importance of building a physique that actually looks good. Something that a lot of men don't care about, but they don't understand that that's the physique that will give you the best return on investment. So I love making videos like this because it allows me to wake up men to actually start taking the gym seriously in a different way, like just showing up and, oh, I'm lifting weights and I'm in the gym 6 days a week. But how do you look though? Because if you don't look good, nobody cares. And now that's a whole nother video that I'm gonna talk about. But just know that proportions are important. And I put together a program for you guys who actually want to build up an aesthetically pleasing physique. It's going to be in the description. It's an ebook / a program. So first it will tell you my philosophy around body game, which is physique is leverage. That's my definition. And then second is a V-taper program that will allow for you to build up the proper muscles for you to have that aesthetic physique. Okay. Now, if you want a personalized program, whether it be training or nutrition, that will be in the work with me link. And if you want to join my 24-week coaching, 6-month coaching program to work with me daily for 6 months, that will also be in the work with me link. Okay, guys? So that's the video, man. Prioritize proportions. If you don't understand proportions, it's going to be very hard to just accidentally build an aesthetic physique. Somebody who has an aesthetic physique, 80% of the times is not by accident. It's by strategic and intentional structure, okay, which is what I help people build. So get right in the description if you need some help. If you guys want to check out my clothing line, that will be in the description as well. Follow me on Instagram at Randall Branch. I post stories and reels every single day. And I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right? Peace.